The voters in District 505 decided or voted to have a community college. So in 1966 they passed that referendum. In 1967 they were going to open with the first class. But in 1968 they doubled the size of the student body, so they doubled the faculty. So a lot of us started in 1968. I was unprepared, to tell you the truth. I had written course outlines and everything, but it was the first time I had ever taught. And I didn't think I'd make it through the first few months. But my wife, who had taught at University High School, said it gets easier, and she was right. The first 5 years I knew every student, what program they were in, what their hometowns were and everything. So we really had close camaraderie. And I think that's maintained through the years.
Yeah, when I started Parkland in the fall of 1970, after I graduated from high school and ran tool, I come to Parkland to learn to be a little mechanic. The one reason we wanted to come to Parkland because they was teaching more of the basics of the mechanics. Use some precision tools like micrometers and things like that. You know, some people might have used a tape measure stuff, but we was using stuff and learn how to do it the right way. When I was growing up, a lot of kids was growing up on the farm, and there's not near as many today, and I think it's a good thing that we have something like this where if kids want to be part of the farm or farming community.
The first thing I remember is we went all over Champaign to attend classes at different buildings throughout the area. But I also remember that the instructors are really good, the curriculum is good, and I really felt when I graduated that I had the information that I needed to really go out and pursue a career in agriculture. We host the Ag Grain Marketing and Management class once a year. They come out to our office, to our boardroom, and try to give them an overview of what a grain company is and how we generate our revenue. I think that the junior college interns have a little better work ethics, and they have the willingness to learn the company from the ground up. It's of utmost importance that they have that ability to teach agriculture in our area. It is the main business of Illinois.
Starting in 1975, things were really good. We had about 130 ag students, so the program was pretty good. But by the middle of the 1980s, some people might know that we had a crisis in agriculture, literally a depression. And so our student numbers had fallen down to about 70 as we got into the 90s, and it was clear that agriculture was better economically and more opportunities. We also saw increased number of students in the program that we would call the transfer student program. In 2003, I was asked to become the department chair for business and agri-industries, which I agreed to do, but I only agreed to do that if I could still teach. The focus has always been on the students. What do the students need to prepare them for their jobs and careers? I think that we're really helping people learn the things they need to learn, and at the same time, I think we've really developed the ability to work with the community.
I came to Parkland in the fall of 1999. That winter they decided to begin the horticulture program. When we first started, it was a very small group of people. It was a learning experience for the students as well as the professors each semester. I enjoyed all the classes I took. I saw them as a challenge and a learning experience. You get what you put into things. If you want to achieve and do well, you work towards that goal.
So I was sort of in between jobs, and I had the opportunity to take these floral design classes, and I was thrilled to be able to do that through Parkland College because it was the only available floral design class in the area. I was able to get introduced to things like the Illinois State Floral Association and the American Institute of Floral Designers, things like that that I had no idea existed. So I decided to make a business out of it instead of just a hobby.
I came to Parkland to kind of find myself and find out what I wanted to do with my life. It was actually during my time at Parkland I acquired an internship at the company that I now partly own and manage. There was expressed that they offer some internship opportunities, and I took advantage of that, and that's where I really decided I wanted to do agronomy. The value you get out of a place like this, the teachers are great, The classes are top notch, and this isn't just for the ag department, all departments. It really is a great place to get an education.
It was a great foundation for me to jump into the landscape field. It was a career field I knew I wanted to get into, but it really gave me a solid background to further, get more education in what I was doing. And landscaping covers a lot of different things in the area. It's not just simply putting a few flowers in the ground. You got to, understand foundation, construction practices, as well as what plants go together aesthetically, and just, kind of feeling out the space, what works, what doesn't work. Favorite thing was just, making new friends, making connections that have lasted, the last 10 years, as well as being able to be involved with some competitions, some national competitions, some regional competitions, and just making the community better.
Got to meet some new people that had similar interests. The teachers here at Parkland were great. I mean, the classes were smaller, so you got to have a lot more one-on-one time. And if you didn't understand something, they would sit down and work with you. I mean, the facilities are very nice. I mean, they got a lot of the equipment. When you go back to the dealership, you're going to see working in the field and stuff, and new stuff that's coming out.
So I think my first ag class that I ever took, I just kind of fell in love with it. And I just knew that I wanted to learn more, even though I grew up on a farm. I have a lot of my students that are now doing the Parkland Pathways program, so they can go on to U of I, and so there's always kind of a natural movement from Parkland to U of I. I think that's just great that we have kind of that network of relationships where students can start here. It's familiar to a lot of our home small town high schools. We met doing a PAS trip through the ag program, so that was kind of unique that we just grew up like 20 miles from one another, and we didn't meet until we actually went to Idaho on this PAS trip. So that's kind of cool that you can meet your best friends, or you might even meet your future spouse. So, it's a great program all the way around.